What up, 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 what up? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hold on, let's. Wake y'all asses up, man. Wake it up. Yeah. Wake it up. Get your workout in. Your little Pilates. Hey, we talking today. We got chat. Hold up. No. Wake y'all asses up. Okay. Good morning. If you didn't know, that's finna be the theme music. Damn near going forward, y'all. What's up? Good morning, y'all. I really want to run over and grab my tea, so let's see. We're gonna see who's best to leave y'all with for a quick little second. Definitely not with them because they playing ads and stuff like that. You know, we already spoke about this. YouTube is like the new cable.
The way Jerome Powell's still on the board.
No, that's true. That's a piece of the puzzle that we haven't talked about as much recently. Let me get a quick thought from you, Mark, on the job
So
market.
the next thing right now everybody's talking about is, are we going to be raising interest rates?
Jobs, with the unemployment rate holding up at 4.2%.
I don't think we are.
When you look at things, especially, I know you would probably look at it on a 3-month basis. How would you characterize the state of the job market?
I think it's still a lower, higher, lower, fire job market.
Lower, higher, lower, fire.
Require as many jobs to be added to
payrolls
now because
shout out RGB on the shades.
That includes fewer legal and illegal immigrants
gotta be able to
coming
see.
into this country. We can keep the unemployment rate steady.
You gotta be able to see the opening bell.
Let's say guessing going on with respect to how many jobs we need to have added to payrolls to keep that number steady. Most recently in the low 4%
Let's see who's
range,
killing it in pre-market.
Stay there for quite some time. But the thought is that it's somewhere, I'll say, between 0 and 50,000 jobs a month, and that's exactly
chip
what
rebounding.
Very recently, we know also last year we had virtually no jobs added on a monthly basis. I think the average was something like 10,000, and yet the
Google does report
skyrocket. So barring the tremendously unforeseen, I think this is where we stay for some time. We also know that by virtue of the JOLTS report that we have about one job opening for every unemployed individual. That is perhaps one way of looking at the job market as being quote unquote.
Yeah, the job market's a little iffy right now. So we don't want to talk about things that aren't making us money, that are making us panic. Not a big fan of that. But here we got Google reporting this week on Wednesday. Last year, I made a risky bet on Google. Took an options play at the week of earnings, and I hit big. It was actually a good one. It's not something I would recommend people do. It was definitely following week the same week I put a big bet on Amazon too, and I also lost that. I won the Google, and thankfully the Google profits covered the losses of Amazon. But the boy just rolled straight out the napper. Straight out the napper. My bad, y'all. And I've actually been using Google AI as much as I use ChatGPT. Maybe ChatGPT a little bit more just because I actually pay for it. But yeah, where's my phone? It's across the way. It's not good. All right. Let me go grab my phone real quick. I ain't gonna leave y'all stranded. I just hate when these commercials get to going. Like, come on. When these commercials get to going, we definitely need to watch Google, because make sure you always clicking the right one. I don't think the Class C is the one I want. Dog, they done ran 4 commercials already. There's no way. So now Yahoo Finance got this guy that's like...
It's up 16% compared to last year, outpacing even vinyl, the king of the throwback physical music formats. The biggest reason for the spike is K-pop. The growth in CD sales was driven by massive albums such as BTS's Ararang and a strong K-pop release schedule, Illuminate says. But even if you take out K-pop, CD sales still jumped by 6.7%, showing this is a full-blown trend. The funniest part is most people aren't buying the disc to actually listen to music. Half of Gen Z and millennials who bought a CD don't actually own a CD player. So are they buying them just to look pretty on their shelves? Pretty much. Illuminate thinks that CDs have been recontextualized from a functional audio format into an affordable collectible. The act of buying physical music, Illuminate's report reads, is as much about aesthetic ownership and direct financial support for the artist as it is listening to the music on the product itself. Neil, I think the last thing I listened to on a CD was Raffi, but never underestimate the power of nostalgia and K-pop.
I mean, I get it. Having a awesome CD collection is one of the biggest flexes you can have. At least when I was in 6th grade. This is bringing me back to my friend making mixed CDs for me and then writing, you know, kind of what it was on Sharpie on the CD itself. And honestly, this stuff 6th to 8th grade was like the most emo thing you could ever imagine. When I look back, I'm like, how did I ever listen to that stuff? But it kind of syncs up with listening habits in general. Young people are listening to older music, and maybe these CDs are not necessarily older music, like BTS is very modern and new, but just there is a throwback nostalgia vibe to the music industry right now. 60% of Gen Z listeners say they most often listen to music from the 1990s or earlier. That's up from 18% in 2021. So they're rediscovering old music and they're rediscovering old formats that we all grew up listening to, like, you know, CDs and vinyl, which has been huge, and I think cassettes have to be next.
I thought the funniest part, too, is that independent record stores are still accounting for a large share of physical album sales, but the biggest growth vectors were Target and Walmart. They now account for 30% of all physical album sales, so you might think of it as this very, you know, indie sleaze thing to do where you go through the dark back shelves of a independent record store, but nope, actually a lot of people are just going to Target and saying, oh, I actually want the BTS album. But you are totally right about the cassette player and the cassette tape maybe making a comeback. Maxwell is a company who just launched a Bluetooth cassette player. They are trying to say, clearly there's demand for the actual ways to listen to music. Now you need ways to play the music, so let's start re-releasing these outdated forms of technology. So that might be the next
honestly, I want to share something.
You need something to play these things.
Yeah, speaking of that, I remember my
do y'all, like, again, sorry, we're trying to replace what we see here. And shout out to the vinyl world. The vinyl world has definitely stepped up. I got me 2 vinyls without a vinyl player. So, but I was thinking about getting a vinyl player, and the more I thought about it, it's just like, I don't know, we're just so damn wasteful, because, like, I'm never going to put this on a vinyl player. Like, the more I thought about it, I was like, even if I do get one, even if I used it one time, it's so much quicker to just go on the YouTube and have access to every single artist you can think of. But I get the nostalgia. So, like, if I go into a room and it's like already set up and it's made to just, you know, lock out the outside world, I get that part. Damn, yo. Y'all seen
temporary
this?
Restraining order preventing them from closing the deal, which they
Netflix won in this deal right here. The Paramount Warner Brothers merger that they backed out of and got $1 billion in.
Scheduled for August 3rd, when the judge could grant a temporary injunction that would delay the acquisition even further. Despite the DOJ giving its blessing, a dozen Democratic-led states have sued to block the deal from going through, arguing it would lead to higher streaming and movie prices for consumers and lower the quality and quantity of content. The California judge yesterday seemed to agree, in part writing that the combined market share of the Warner Brothers and Paramount Film Studios is, quote, likely to violate antitrust laws.
Yeah, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said this is a critical first win in our case to ensure this mega merger never sees the light of day. His point was essentially you're going to get fewer opportunities across the industry. You're going to get worse products, worse services for consumers. So they're trying to preserve a competitive marketplace. We've seen these a lot in these antitrust rulings, and it would be a giant company. I mean, it brings Paramount Pictures and Warner Bros., a giant film studios under the same roof. Brings Paramount Plus and HBO Max, giant streaming services.
So the only reason why Paramount's able to do this is because Daddy got the bag. Owner of Paramount, I believe, is the son of and by David Ellison with the backing of billionaire tech tycoon Larry Ellison. So the reason why they're even able to hover this deal is because of daddy money.
Well, so
But
that is why you've seen a ton of pushback to this. This is not the last turn.
No disrespect to daddy money. You know what I mean? No disrespect. Let's see what they got going on Bloomberg. You know, the goal one day is to have other people up here and, you know, maybe we're just switching back and forth from rooms and entertaining some of y'all goofies, some of y'all morning. Make sure y'all hitting the thumbs up in the comments. Make sure y'all saying what's up in the comment section. You know, again, we're trying to get our faces up here one day. For some reason, we just not, our presence isn't felt, and you know, it's alright though. It's alright. That's why I'm here, to make a difference. Now let's see what they got going. Let's see who got the juice. Not y'all, because y'all running commercials. Alright, let's see what the top stories are. Yeah, the Paramount Netflix thing, man. I'm so excited about that because I feel like Netflix got like, but Netflix is still down, and that's just like how it works. Like that's just the lay of the land. We got about 33 minutes until the opening bell. Y'all know. We're gonna be very. This is gonna be a good one, y'all. If I can remain consistent in the journey, in this morning show journey, we're gonna be lit. Okay, we got the health joints is not y'all marking that premium. What I tell you about them headlines yesterday, man. Okay, so Trump, we're still at war, which is crazy. So we got 50% tariffs. Damn, these commercials, man. We can't dodge a commercial on the internet or an ad, man. Damn. How do I move this? I don't want to E-Trade. I don't want to do no options. All right. So yesterday, Trump signed 3 proclamations that set to impose 50% tariffs in response to Canadian actions around automobiles, alcohol, and dairy products. So what happened? I don't even know what happened. As ranging from wine to hockey sticks to cement, the automobile. Okay, so damn, I think my tea is ready, y'all. The moves mark. All right. So what happened? Like, I feel like they always tell us like frame dramatic action in response to continued discrimination from Canada. Okay, so I guess Canada's discriminating according to us. Again, I could take this whole article and put it in the AI and y'all, should we try it? Maybe not this one because we already been reading. But yeah, you could put this whole story in the AI and have it break it down. Literally, probably could even just put the link nowadays. Dog, this thing's been running commercials for like the last minute, and then like it just changes. Yeah, this thing's so funny. They still promoting coffee. Look how disgusting they promote coffee.
He's basically, he's a very healthy individual, but he's also a teacher of sorts and needs to keep the energy high.
That is all the time we have. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us.
5 cups of coffee is gonna give you energy, man. If y'all don't beat it, If y'all
to
don't beat
energy,
it,
semiconductor, and broader
let me
AI
get this
technology.
tea, y'all.
So now seeing a nice, at least futures morning today, as we are seeing S&P 500 up about 0.4%. The Nasdaq 100 up about 1.4%, so leading out in front and by a wide margin at that. The Dow also up about 0.25%, while the Russell 2000 is up just shy of 0.4%. But now let's check in on some of these futures products, as we are seeing some stabilization here in the U.S. dollar, which actually continues to be slightly higher. Gold also starting to see some real strength, up 1.1%, while crude out in front yet again, up over 2% for the futures products. Bitcoin also making a decent move today, up 2.3%, while volatility is falling below 18. So now seeing the volatility index sitting just below, of course, 18 at 1782. So now here to help us set up the trading day with some of the key stories to, of course, keep on your Tuesday radar. We are now joined by Kevin Hanks for our pre-bell playbook. And so, Kevin, futures are obviously pointing to a higher open here. I mean, does it feel like we're seeing this risk appetite resume? I mean, did it ever really go anywhere in the first place?
Don't say nothing about my knife and me stirring, dog. I ain't got no more spoons right now.
So often we concentrate on the macroeconomic factors, but now we're getting into earnings season, and attitudes and attention shift to more earnings. You're starting to see a lot of movement, a lot of chatter this morning. Memory is having a big morning. You see the NASDAQ higher so far. So memory stocks, Micron, SanDisk, Seagate, all significantly higher pre-market.
Yes,
you also have SpaceX and Tesla up pre-market. But I've got the NASDAQ now up 1.37%. I've got the E-minis up 0.4%.
Just so y'all know, 1% is like considered
pretty
a big
strong,
move.
Despite a dollar that's higher, a 10-year
Feeling
that was
peachy.
just above 4.6. Now it's back below, and crude oil that's up over 2%, Jen. So geopolitics are still playing a big role, but the market is looking over to earnings season and all the movement going on. A lot going on this morning, Jen.
There is a lot going on this morning. As we said, it's going to be a busy week here for us, as there's a lot of news and also earnings and crude. I think it's a good place to continue that conversation, because crude is moving higher now for, as we see, the 10th day of these U.S. strikes on Iran. And I mean, crude here is really one of our most standout moves of like broader commodities and futures products. And so, as far as right now assessing the recent volatility that we've seen in energy, I mean, right now, could this actually start to weigh on the overall market or affect the overall market? We haven't really seen, again, this risk premium necessarily reflected
in broader equities,
of course, energy.
Jen, when the macro is working against an up market, watch for failed rallies. Like we've been getting the last couple days, the market opens higher and can't hold it because of the macro, right? A 10th day of bombing between the U.S. and Iran has got crude oil 2% higher. There doesn't look like there's any negotiations or settlements happening anytime soon. However, we are braced for some change in that. Right now, it looks like tensions are still high. Traders are watching for some type of a break. Remember, a break in that will just add to what we're seeing in futures. So you always have to be careful of that. We could, as we've done in the last couple days, run out of gas on these summer rallies. But a change in tone between the U.S. and Iran could actually do the opposite to that.
No, absolutely. And we do also see some developments as far as the U.S. imposing an additional 50% on Canada goods. And this is fascinating. I mean, again, talk about like the broader geopolitical risk. I mean, how should investors be thinking through this piece of news?
How about these categories of that we're looking at? We're looking at hockey sticks and cement, furniture, plywood, wine, various dairy and agriculture products. Now, here's the good news. President Trump is saying that the U.S. isn't being treated fair in some of their trade in some of the key areas.
Alaskan Airlines.
So, he's hitting them with 50% tariffs. The good news is their leadership is interested in negotiating these away, making statements already this morning. So I would expect something to happen pretty quickly. The U.S. and Canada, frankly, Jen, they don't want our relationships to get any worse than they already are. They're already slightly strained in terms of trade. So I would expect something to happen pretty fast there. But President Trump, citing what Canada is doing with some trade policies, fired a shot at Canada, certainly with these tariffs.
I mean, certainly, yes, and I would agree. This was not necessarily the hope to a path for peace that I think that we were hoping for, but we'll continue to see how this obviously is used more as it seems like a bargaining chip at this point, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it is a done deal by any means, as we know from right now the back and forth between the U.S. and other major, I mean, foreign entities.
But
to focus on actually what is a U.S. company
like
to a more international company is NVIDIA disclosing its stake.
That's like what I'm trying to figure out. Like how much more we gonna use this as a tool before someone's just like, yo, like we're not scared no more. The jig is up. Like at what point do we figure that out? I ain't gonna lie, NVIDIA has so much ownership. Okay, XRP rose 5% to 1.1 in the last 23 hours, y'all. Let me know in the comments if y'all are invested in crypto. You know, a lot of people are for it, a lot of people are against it, but, you know, I'm for whatever. I don't think anybody should look down on any investment or any asset. You know, I think at one point in life, you know, people wasn't sure what the true valuation of homes were, and you know, they were worth pennies at one point in our lifetime. So I think over time life changes and things can be worth more or less than what you expected, and you know, that's just part of the game. That's why you take the risk, right? Like, I think society has made it feel that, like, you know, every investment or anything that is deemed an asset is going to make you a bazillion amount of money. Like even buying a home right now, like, you know, the same home that cost $300,000 in 2020 costs $750,000 now, maybe even $800,000, $900,000 in a battle war, and then now interest rates are higher, so obviously your mortgage payment's higher, right? And then now you that home, right, in order to make the jump that a lot of people made from, you know, owning a home before 2020, even a little after 2020, you know, market still went up, is that now this home that you bought for $750,000, it needs to double its value so that you can get that big jump that the person got off of you. So now this home needs to get to the valuation of 1.4, 1.5 for you to make, you know, your bag. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these houses that are $750,000, I don't ever see in them. I mean, one day they can be, you know, with inflation, and it can definitely get to double again for sure, right? But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I'm not quite sold, to say the least. I'm not quite sold. Now, Yahoo Finance used to have a good channel. They must have signed this guy, and not this guy right here, but they signed a guy, and now it's like that's all we like see is that guy. So let's see what Brent Crew talking about.
Action, and Iran lets
y'all
up its
see what I'm
grip
talking about
when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz. The thing is, we haven't gotten any public indication that Iran is willing to lift its leverage when it comes to the waterway, as we saw another vessel attacked overnight, this time one that was linked to Kuwait. We got some new satellite imagery, some new data from research from Kepler, which finds on average 10 ships transited per day Friday through Sunday, with almost all of them using that route that Iran controls and not the U.S. coordinated one. And now, compounding the risks, as you mentioned, is that we have this new threat from the Iranian-backed militia group, the Houthis, saying that they are going to institute this maritime blockade against Saudi Arabia.
So the important number right here to watch is this Brent crude. So I'm in VDE, which is an energy ETF. As long as this crude number continues to go up, boy, gonna be making some bread. your boy gonna be making some bread. Now, what I am worried about is, again, we're gonna go back to the pricing of things could start to skyrocket if it costs more money to ship them from one side of the country to the other. So like something to keep in mind. I could win on one side, but I could be hurt on another side. So for example, I'm in Lyft, right? So obviously Lyft margins heavily operating on the price of gas. If price of gas goes up, and I've really been dealing with this, this gas stuff the last handful of months. I would say it's probably been baking in the whole year, right? So let's say the last 6 months. Lyft is trying to find it. It's trying to find it, and I feel like it will. Again, I just need it to go back up to 20. That's. If it goes back up to November levels, I will be. Baby, we buying a new car. No, I'm kidding. But I would be happy. I'll be happy. How much time we got till the opening bell, y'all? Come on, that's all we really care about. Where is the ticker? Where is the ticker? They done took the ticker off, man. So what's this? Is this a different? So Yahoo has 2 different channels? So Yahoo got 2 different channels. But it don't matter, because you still don't see us up there. Man. This is how far behind we are, y'all. This is how far behind we are. Like, we need the financial planes to look like a basketball team, like the NBA. We're going to get there. But I really want to see the countdown, because that's all I really care about. That's all that we really, like, care for, right? And I need to start putting the little tickers up under. To put that little weighted music. What time is it? We got about 17 minutes till opening bell. Hopefully we're making money today. Futures are up, y'all. Let's check the phone. Should we go live on TikTok? Where should we go live today? Where should we go live today? Let's see. Should we go live on Facebook? Let's see if I got this thing figured out. I get paid on my Facebook page. So I'm like, damn, should I be going live from here? How do I? Let's see. I don't think I go live from here. I gotta figure it out, because I actually get paid from Facebook. So maybe I'll just start throwing my lives on there, like after they drop.
This is Fast Market, built for traders.
Okay, hold up, sister.
We walk you through trade ideas with structure, risk management, and a focus on execution.
Why did he put the sister on Front Street? She must be on vacation. Hold up. They got her on a commercial. Hey, they got 2 brothers. Hold on. We got a few people on a commercial. Today's going to be a great day, y'all. I'm feeling good. I hope you are feeling good too. Damn, another commercial. Let's keep it moving, though. Let's keep it moving. I love to see a sister up there, though. Shout out to the sister up there, the brother up there. Who's on my line? Hold up. Hold up. Y'all hear the sirens out there? Oh, hold up. We got some. See, why when I start to see the people that look like me, it's like commercial and it's like quick and it's fast. I don't like that. So today, let's see. I'll be, straightforward with y'all. I'm looking at a few of these. Chewy, I've been in Chewy for some time. I really need Chewy to recover. This is one that got me by the you know what. You know, I'm still watching VDE. You know, if VDE can go up to 170, I'll be happy. I think it has the potential. It's been up there, 176 before. We're striking every day. This is how you forecast what's about to happen. You forecast by kind of forecasting. I don't want to say it's like telling the future. It's kind of theorizing the future, and you take kind of the things happening in the world and the news, and then you formulate your own, like based off your research and what you've read, you formulate your own of like what you think finna happen. You take your guess, and then you know it's either right or wrong. They have my boy Alex Rodriguez up there. The paycheck must be good. The paycheck must be good. S&P futures up 0.35%, 0.39. And those are considered big moves, y'all. I don't want to see this, man. Damn. Dow futures up 0.19. NASDAQ futures up 1.2. Russell 0.30. The VIX is down 0.75. We don't speak about the VIX enough. All right, do your research on the VIX and how you can use it to kind of know where the market's gonna go. Sorry, answering a text. Answering a text. Sorry, y'all. I still got things to do. Sorry, y'all. My bad. I was literally in the middle of talking about something important. But yes, I always say do your own research on the VIX, and you know you'll see how you can use it. It's just an indication, like it's just another thing. Now I did say we'd go look over my Excel sheet. Probably not today, but maybe sometime this week. Sometime this week we'll go to that. We got almost 11 minutes till. Oh, hold on. Let's hear about this.
And that's why. I think it's not so much that the market's getting saturated. I think it's rather that there is so much more upside that's why there is so much fighting.
Yeah, and more competition, right? If you're going to have more alternatives where you get the price down, I think that's going to be, you know.
They're fighting of who got the best pen to lose weight. I forgot what the Ozempic.
The health effects.
The Ozempic wars.
Later, but I the cohort study in 20 years.
This is where we're at. The Ozempic wars in this world.
Like cigarettes back in the day.
Right. All right. Speaking of competition, cutthroat competition.
Yes.
Miami, New York. One of the great rivalries of the last decade. And I say that because, like, I don't know about you guys, but just anecdotally, I know quite a few people who have moved to Miami.
As do I.
You know, I've always hated Miami in the past, but I love it now. And it's obviously why it's more expensive. Like the heat, you know, brings people outside. So you're going to be outside a lot more. You're going to be in less of a dungeon feeling. New York kind of gives you that dungeon feeling once it gets cold. You know, it gets dark, to say the least. But Miami is like, welcome to Miami. Like it's just, it's open and it's up and it's stuck, you know. So I understand. Like this doesn't, you know, surprise me. San Fran is definitely still numero uno, but yeah, Miami's a vibe. If I had the right gig, I'd set all this up, go down there, and y'all see a beach in the background. Right now we got straight wall. We ain't got no water over here in Georgia. Zero wall in Georgia. But it's okay. That is okay. We got about 9 minutes until opening bell, right? And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I really feel like I should make a channel that just like kind of showing their channel. Is that messed up? Like a channel just, you know, constantly. And I wish they put I need my own version of this. See, my bad, y'all. Like I was ready to just copy and paste that whole thing into into ChatGPT to make my own version. That is hilarious. That's how you do it nowadays, y'all. And we ain't got no description, but we're gonna keep building it up in due time, gang. In due time. The most important thing is to get our hour in. That's the most important thing. Let me know if y'all could see this. Baby. Let's see. See what they still yapping about.
Right, you can fly under the radar scheme if you want.
So the joke that Jake is referring to that I told before the show.
They ain't got no jokes. The jokes are so bad. They're not even funny. Like, it ain't even like a ha moment. All right, we got
period.
8 minutes.
So we do expect this broadening. We're already seeing it. And again, sectors, like I mentioned before, that have been left behind, we think offer great opportunities for investors to participate in as, you know, maybe the technology stocks sell off and there becomes opportunities in new, you know, more value-oriented sectors that have been left behind. But once stocks are priced for perfection, they're probably not great investments for the foreseeable future. And this is what happened in the tech bubble, and again, the late 90s, is that investors extrapolated out years and years of great returns with a very low discount rate. And what we're seeing now is maybe that discount rate's increasing, the risk premiums coming back into the market, you know, partly because of what the Federal Reserve is doing, maybe being a little bit more less stimulus into the system. Maybe we're shrinking the balance sheet a little bit, increasing the Fed funds rate. Again, you're going to get a higher equity risk premium, and some of those more risky type investments that, you know, have done well for years, we do think some of the air is going to come out of those, and ultimately this rotation is going to gain steam and really lead to, we think, small cap value specifically outperforming.
Okay, and I think a really great place to leave it. So appreciate your time today, Josh Schachner, CIO and Senior Portfolio Manager of Easterly Snow. Thank you so much.
I'm in
now, coming up after
chat.
the break, we will count you down to the start of the trading day. Opening bell. We'll be right back.
Yes. I'm in a couple chats, so we definitely get to sharing information in the morning. I would love to get back to doing the Discord. That's going to be the goal. Schwab got 1,300 people watching. Comments turned off though. But yes, I would like to bring the Discord chat back one day. In due time though, because like I know, you know, it's effort, and I dropped the ball once when I had the chat the first time it was going. We had people talking and I just didn't keep up with it. And you know, people sharing their gains, and it was a great time. And I do want to bring it back. I love the community aspect of it. It was dope. All right, so they're playing on the Yahoo. They got the ticker symbols going. I guess we're on commercial break right now. Golly, we can't skip a commercial. Let's look at SpaceX though, because SpaceX is like, this is one that I'm interested, like as like a, you know, future. But at the same time, like, I need it to be at like $60, $70, man. Like, it just, what we discovered yesterday, it's trading at like 190 times future 2027 earnings, which is disgusting. So disgusting. Wow. So disgusting. 190 times future earnings. You gotta be kidding me. Should we go TikTok live for the last 4 minutes? Let's see. Last 4 minutes, we're gonna go TikTok live on the side.
Are you ready for that one?
No, I'm not ready for that one. That was mad random. I want to see, like, truly, I just want to see whether going TikTok live does anything. Like, how does it boost? How does it, yeah, we got a couple goals. Let's go live real quick. All right. We're live, gang. We are live. Shout out to everybody on TikTok. We are live. We're live. Let's check back in. Look at that. Running commercials. Jesus.
Juice risk. Do you expect continued outperformance in the higher yielding fixed income?
See, where's the? I like when they start breaking down how much time
obviously, we've
we
got
have
the
left.
TSMC news this morning about raising prices, but the
this is what we want to see. This is the only thing we care about. How many minutes before the money starts pouring in?
Rallying 4%. And I will point out that some of this has got to do with the strength of the export numbers that we've seen out of these regions overnight. So that is helping fuel
3 minutes
some of
till
the tech
morning
optimism that
bell.
we're seeing in this part of the world as well. We did get some very nice numbers out of South Korea. We get these sort of preliminary numbers that capture the first 20 days of the month. Very, very strong. And then also out of Taiwan export orders, which I believe were at a record as well. So
y'all remember China did say that they was coming. They was coming for Taiwan. So that is still on the monopoly board. China did say that Taiwan's will be coming home. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but they did mention that.
Costs for materials manufacturing,
3 minutes
equipment and
officially,
construction of new
257,
overseas chip plants. It comes a day after we heard from Taiwan, from SK Group, which of course is the parent company of SK Hynix, basically warning about rising memory prices, saying that we need to bring on more supply because of chipflation. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this is all going to mean for the end user, particularly because Apple has already been an indication of how that's feeding in, of course, to the hardware and the consumer goods as well. So just reading through some of the details, what Nikkei Asia was
some of y'all got things to do. I know. This is probably not the best time to be watching me, but if you hear, welcome.
Original forecasts, they're planning on putting another 10 to 15% premium on top of the base increase here for mature node production, covering 12 nanometer, 16,
boosting
8
it up
to
until we
28
get there.
nanometer technologies and other legacy processes. Just remembering, obviously, some of TSMC's major clients, as of course this report does point out, NVIDIA, Apple, Google, Amazon, Qualcomm, ARM, MediaTek, you name it. So according to the pricing strategy, the chipmaker has opted to go with a less aggressive approach. But basically this is something that the Nikkei Asia has said that they need to do here. Rising prices are not going to happen immediately. They've decided to delay this until 2027.
This might be a good
that
start.
Is to give customers
VIX
time to
down,
adjust after negotiations
the VIX being down,
concluded. It's interesting because this is something we've heard. CC Way talking about when they've seen other memory players having to hike their prices. He said that it's obviously something that they've looked at, they've considered. It's not something they wanted to do. Initially, I'm summarizing here as well, but it does look like they've had to go ahead with this because of the costs of all this labor, the materials, the chemicals, the logistics that go into all of this.
57 seconds till morning bell.
TSMC, again, we're looking at these price hikes. You could argue that it's pricing power maybe, but also it does raise more questions about cost pressures, as you didn't know.
46. All right, hold on. I gotta get this music
absolutely.
ready.
And that's exactly right. I mean, you've got an economy like Taiwan, which is heavily import reliant.
Let's go. 36 seconds.
That continues to show no signs of
Let's
ending
go.
here. I mean, this is an economy that relies very much on
30 seconds till morning bell. Let's go, ladies. Finish it up. Y'all talking too much.
Yes.
Give me the bell.
This obviously is going to have a feed-in effect into
Let's
what
go.
we talk
People
about
clapping
here
already.
with respect to semiconductors,
People clapping already.
and then obviously to potentially the end consumer here with respect to the stuff
All right,
that you
we're
and
ready
I
to
go
ring the
out
bell,
and
y'all.
buy. So we've already heard that from
10
Apple.
seconds.
The memory
9,
costs. Let's
7,
see if that's a similar
6,
case with this
5,
inflation we're seeing
4,
coming through, Jenny.
3, 2, 1. We're ringing the bell. You know, one day they're gonna get us up there. We ringing the bell. We ringing the bell. Look like it's a tap situation. Look like it's a tap situation. On that note, 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 let's watch. Let's watch.
Let me tell you about my ghetto lover. A mother of two and she got 5 brothers. Like no other, you smell her come, she smell like cinnamon and cocoa butter. She got a man and that's it a bump. Her best friend dumb and dumb. Always out getting drunk and
Morning
drunk.
bell is in,
They
y'all.
say they outside all summer. I caught her walking out the club. I tried to say what's up. She see my face before
Time to
she
make money.
think I'm trying to set her up.
Time to make money.
She said she had a man and told my ass to get the fuck. But I'd be damned if I get turned down. Maybe I'm not letting up.
I didn't even know that had a swear in it, so hopefully we don't get in trouble for that. All right, Apple, we 2 minutes in. Apple is on the down go. Let's see how Apple's been trading. Really ranging, like that's why I said like these futures really be gassing everybody right now. I think that we need some type of good news. Like I feel like that's the one thing that's holding us back. We haven't had any good news, like, besides all the AI rave, like we haven't had any like, we're back at war and, swipe right. What up? But I can't say nothing. I ain't gonna lie. Like TikTok Live is mad confusing, gang. Like, it's just confusing. But anyways, we haven't had any good news, so I feel like that's what's like plaguing us right now. Like
that we're seeing.
But
the safety
earnings week is always good to be paying attention because
climbing 7.5%. Of course, we know 3M for those products that they're familiar household products that we know.
So look at that. You want to see these companies just moving higher. Like a good earnings season is always great. I don't care how the economy's going. If earnings season is booming, that's a good sign. You could place your bets. You could take your chances because that means companies are coming out with good, not every company's going to have good earnings, but for the most part, when a lot of companies in the same sector are doing good, that's a good sign. That's I'm gonna place my bets type of situation.
Talked about this recently, where 3M
shout out to we got a sister. This is what I like. Okay, we got a sister.
Microsoft's Azure
prime
data
time,
centers here,
9:30.
and then on the
That's
flip
all I had to
side,
wait
3M
for.
using
Sometimes we
Microsoft's
gotta be
AI
patient.
tools to improve their operations
We ain't
and
get her name,
productivity.
though.
In terms of their guidance, the biggest positive here is they are raising guidance. Their adjusted earnings per share, they're guiding for 880 to 895.
Okay.
That's above what they previously guided
That's what we
for.
want.
They previously guided for 850 to 870. Sales growth, they're guiding for now above 4.5%. Organic sales, they're expecting that to come in above 3.5%, Jenny.
Okay, and so now to pivot here into some of these analyst calls, Morgan Stanley is taking a more cautious view on Adobe and Workday, pointing to execution risk and AI disruption. So performance for both of these names has also been reflective of this.
What's
I mean,
up,
given
gang?
that we've seen underperformance in both these
Shout out to
stocks over
TikTok.
now the last 2+ years. And so walk us through this call today, and I mean some of the pressure we're seeing actually in both of
downgraded
these
to
names.
underweight.
Yeah, I think you got that right there, Jenny. So turning more
I ain't gonna
cautious
lie,
on both
Adobe's
these names,
been
and I
really
mean
smacking us
Adobe, I
over the
mean
head with
that
all
one
the
has
charges
just
they've
really
been
been
giving
in the woodshed all year and can't seem to get out of it. So indeed, you're right. Morgan Stanley
They're
turning
just
more
raising
cautious
prices.
on both Adobe and Workday here, downgrading both of them to underweight. They believe these stocks
raising
will
prices.
continue to underperform the broader market over the next 12 months. The common theme is actually not about these companies having a bad business. The concern is AI and how it's changing the software landscape. Both companies facing a transitionary period here. The challenge here is growth. Will it slow down? Will it make execution more difficult? The view from Morgan Stanley is yes. For Adobe, their new price target is 240. That's down from their old price target of 365.
Wow.
Shares coming into today were already down more than 30%. So you add this move, another 2%, increasing.
Which is crazy because
the downside here in Adobe, and of course,
Adobe's my market. Like I create with Adobe.
Who's going to be the new CFO?
It's like my life.
The major
so
transition that's worrying Wall Street
it's actually very interesting that
Workday here.
It's very interesting that Adobe is having like issues
growth trajectory doesn't look good. The new price target they're setting 145. That's down from their
they
old
have a
price
big
target
community.
of
But I will say Da
slowing
Vinci
core growth. Once again, the
competition,
issue,
you
just
know how it
maturing.
goes. CapCut.
Their finance software, we know them very well for the human resource software, but the finance software they say is stronger, but it's not enough to offset the challenges that they believe in terms of the growth trajectory for the human capital software.
Let's look at ServiceNow. That was another one that's.
And they think the AI opportunity for Workday is actually real, but it's still too early to see how
This one
that plays out, Jenny.
I like. See,
All
right. When I say
that has tried to come back, I mean Workday.
And this is not. Oh, so her name's Nicole. Maybe her name's Nicole. All right. So this is not like financial advice or anything, but like I'm trying to give you our perspective, like how I look at it, like when I'm looking at charts, and obviously this is a little bit more deeper, right? Because if you look at the month, you don't see those same dips that you see on the weekly. So like, if I'm to play this, right? If I'm gonna play ServiceNow, I'm looking for this 99. This is what I'm looking for right here. This is, if all else, I'm looking to try to get in this 99. If I get in this 89, cool. But I want to be in the dips. I don't ever want to be buying on the way up here unless I know it's gonna retest and shoot up. And even that, I would wait for the retest to shoot up. You feel me? But even here, it kind of like looked like it was gonna go bang, and then, so you have to be mindful. The goal is to buy low and sell high, right? If you buy at the lowest point, you could sell, even if it's a couple cents, you could sell at a higher point because you've allowed yourself, you were patient, you watched it come down, and now you're reaping the benefits on the stock going up, right? So you buy low. I know TikTok can't even see. We're gonna have to get TikTok over to YT Live. But I'm sharing on here because I do have my financial page on TikTok, so I just want more people to be informed of what I'm talking about. Even if you can't see the graphics and the charts that I got here in the background, I still want you to be aware of what we're talking about so that you can make some money too. Right now, money is being made. Like whether you sitting at home, whether you sitting at work, money's being made right now as we speak from 9:30, from the bell opens to 4 p.m. And even after that, there's aftermarket trading. There's, y'all know crypto going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's money to be made out here, and I want everybody to know. Unc Got Drip is crazy. Unc is crazy. What's the Unc is crazy. I need to know what the age limit of Unc is. Like, is it Unc because I got a beard? Like, what makes Unc? Like, is it because I'm on here talking about financial stuff? Unc Got Drip is hilarious. Like, I feel like I wish I could just screenshot that and just put it up on the wall. Unc Got, let me see. Let's screenshot it. Unc Got Drip is hilarious. That is funny. We're gonna save that one. Shout out to, let me see my dog name. Shout out to Paxum. I don't know if he be packing them or he packs them, but shout out to Paxum saying Unc Got Drip. I guess I'm a Unc. Like, what am I supposed to do, y'all? What happened to did the live cut off? Oh no, alright, the live didn't cut off. I had to make sure. Thought the live cut off. Anyways, but yeah. So we want to be looking for that. ServiceNow is definitely one of the ones that I'm looking at. But I'm not telling you to look at them. I'm just saying, like, it's just a stock that I'm, like, watching. I'm seeing. This is how I won on. Obviously, there's more to it, right? But this is how I won on AMD. This is how I won on Google. Watching the chart. Watching the movement. Watching the dip. Okay, every time it gets to this price, it seems to be seems to be supported there. And then it starts jumping back. I guess it seems to be supported there. All right, so I'd rather buy at a price that is supported, right? Where people are going to buy when it gets to that point. That point, you have less to worry about, right? A lot of investing is about risk management. That's kind of managing your risk, and that's one way to manage your risk. Buy at a better price, right? You know, some people just buy, they just buy over time, and I'm not mad at that either. What they call it, I'm losing the word. They call it, dollar cost averaging, right? So you just invest every day or every week the same amount or different amounts, and you don't look at the price, and that's cool. I'm not mad at that. But if you're not paying attention, right, and you are dollar cost averaging into something that just keeps going down, it doesn't make no sense. You're better off waiting, looking at the chart, looking at the landscape, and seeing what's a low price, what's a support number. Why don't I wait? Like if we're at 72 and a support number is 62, I'm not gonna buy all the way down to 62. That's ridiculous. But a lot of people are being recommended to do that, right? But why would I do that? What if it drops to 42 and now I'm just buying all the way down and now I'm just catching a falling knife, right? Look at the chart. Look for support. Like, you literally can feed the chart into AI and be like, what are some support resistant lines? Or you can just learn about support and resistant lines and just see it for yourself. We all have our own eyes. This stuff is not as difficult as, we make it seem, and that it just is what it is. So that's my quick little spiel on that. Let's see what they talking about over here.
Defense is expecting, if you were listening to the earnings call, CAGRs of about 30% year over year as they continue to sell to the U.S. government and to our allies. And then
he ain't talking about Nathan.
Dubai.
He ain't talking about nothing. Let's see, who else we looking at? Tesla's out here. No, I'm not really looking at Tesla. Where's my... Let me see. Let me pull up my chart on the back end, y'all. My bad. I just can't show y'all, like, my actual chart, because, like, that's too much. My actual watch list, that's just, like, too much. But, damn. I'm looking at the actual, and it's not looking good. Damn, ELF jumped up to... I'm looking at ELF, y'all. They jumped up to 77, but I want ELF... Alright, so let's look at this one. I officially want to get into the beauty industry, and the way I see myself being part of the beauty industry is through the gains of ELF. But I need ELF at 49, gang. Like, this is one of the ones that, like, I need a good price here, because, Fenty can come out of nowhere. I mean, Fenty's here, but, like, another beauty business can come out of nowhere, and then, like, I can be buying in at the top, and you don't ever want to buy in at the top. Like, trust me, y'all. So ELF is one I'm looking at. It's on the watch list. I'm giving that y'all from my watch list. But I definitely... there's certain places I want in, and 49 is one of them numbers. Definitely not 77. I'm trying to do my information on road, because, the beauty industry is not my industry. So I'm learning, I'm asking people that I know. These are all things that you could do. Like, you don't have to be a mastermind. You can literally just talk to people. Talk to people that buy industry products, beauty products. That's kind of what I'm doing. Every woman I know, hey, you know about road? Tell me how you feel about it. You know about ELF? How you feel about ELF? And, you know, I'm kind of gauging my own research through that. Netflix, I'm still looking at Netflix, y'all. Netflix is still on my radar. ServiceNow, we just talked about QQQ, always in there. Always in there. Oh, man, I ain't gonna lie. I lost some money with Snap, gang. I lost money with Snap. That'll probably be the last time I ever put options on Snap for show. Why is TTD like, one of my most confusing investments this year has been Trade Desk. I ain't even gonna lie. Trade Desk has been the most confusing investment that I've made all year, right? But I don't want it to be this confusing for y'all. Like, I slick want to, like, that's why I want to go back to Cash App investing videos, just to simplify it a lot more, man. Buy low, sell high, man. Get in there and get up out of there. Like, make your money and get up out of there. Because I think when we start complicating things like on Robinhood, trading options, people start getting lost in the sauce and start thinking that you can easily just lose your money. But, like, you can gain money. Like, you can invest on Cash App and literally gain money. Like, I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds insane. I know. Investing on Cash App sounds nuts. Let's see. Analyzing stocks and beauty brands like e.l.f. Oh. I mean, that's so funny. AI summary, hilarious. So this thing just told me to talk about e.l.f. I mean, I don't have any investment tips, like but I will say, I mean, the whole thing, what I've been talking about has kind of been tips and strategy on how to find investment opportunities, find, companies that align with you, right? And we're 3 minutes over time, y'all. It's all right. We'll go to 10 today. We'll finish out what I'm talking about, right? I'm already over. Doing it for game. Yeah, these are just different ways that you can find companies that align with you. Sorry, I'm just reading these comments. But yeah, so if y'all tap in every morning, we're gonna do the morning show, Monday through Friday. As long as you're tapping in the morning show, Monday through Friday, 8:45 to 9:45, you tapping in here live. We're gonna be going over different investment strategies. We're gonna be looking at companies, talking about the news. We're gonna be talking about everyday life stuff. What you shouldn't be spending your money on, what you should be doing with your money. Right now is the time to save. Right now is the time to be bringing down debt. Right now is the time to be, setting up for the next few years, because we don't know what it's gonna be like. We just don't know. We're unaware. So yeah, so I appreciate everybody watching, everybody tapping in. Like I said, 8:45 to 9:45. I started a little late today, so we rolled over into a little overtime, and that's okay. But we'll be back again tomorrow. I appreciate TikTok, of course. Let's get rid of y'all first. See y'all tomorrow morning, nice and early. If I even know how to end this thing. All right, TikTok is down. Shout out to TikTok. YouTube, of course. Always appreciate y'all. Until tomorrow, we ain't even gonna go out with the, we gotta go out with the, how we not gonna go out with the theme music? Till tomorrow, y'all.
Let me tell you about my ghetto lover, a mother of two and she